Hey guys, it's Jason again. I like how you take a drink right when I get freaking started with this. Anyway, the Code Half project, unless I want to call it something different. What is this? This number 3, episode 3, something like that.
We're just getting started.
Yeah. I don't know if people have gotten tired of hearing us talk yet, but if you're still out there listening, thank you. We appreciate that. I don't know what else I'm going to say. I'll just get started, I guess.
Yeah, you just start talking.
Well, yeah, I think that's what the whole point is behind a podcast.
Yeah, you just make your
Okay,
reference.
I'm going to get started for you. Get on my freaking nerves.
Wow.
You know what? I forgot exactly what I was going to talk about, too.
Look at your reference points. The bullets right there on your notes.
Yeah, and I remember that. You know, just before we started this, we were talking about parents and how back in the day they basically, you know, you'd be 2 years old and they'd go, all right, go outside and don't come back till the freaking street lights come on.
Yeah, that happened to us every day during the summer. Like,
Yeah, not nowadays. Kids can't be outside longer than 2 minutes without putting 14 pounds of sunscreen on them because they might get cancer when they turn 95 or something.
well, that and because kids just, start eating rocks for some reason nowadays.
Yeah, or Tide Pods.
And that too.
Anyway, talking about that, we're going to get on the an overprotective parent kind of thing, which reminds me of my wife. You know, when I first met my wife, she would not let the kids go to the restroom unless either she was with them or they had a buddy.
Oh, Battle Buddy system, huh?
Yeah. Basically, they had pee buddies. I mean, they couldn't go alone.
I couldn't do that in the military either.
No, I mean, like the oldest one would be like, what? Let's see, go back for 11.
No, he was 7.
Okay.
7. Okay, thank you.
Okay, we're on a podcast here.
I was 30. I was 31, and I was taking a shit in a porta potty with a guy outside of it because I had to have a battle buddy.
Okay, well, the kids had battle buddies. Anyway, I get called out, or we get this call, and a woman calls in and says, hey, there's 2 kids outside in their front yard, and one of those, you know those blue kiddie swimming pools that are like 8 to 10 inches deep, maybe, or whatever?
Yeah, if that, yeah.
Well, there's 2 kids that are outside in the swimming pool, and they're not under the shade, and there's no parent around.
Where is this at? Or like a rural or city?
Well, it's a rural area, and
A lot of traffic?
I'm like, okay. So they're in their front yard, which, come to find out later, is a fenced-in yard. There's no tree, so there's no shade for them. And they said there was no parent around. So, you know, I get told this by dispatch, and the first thing I think of is like, okay, what am I supposed to go swimming with them? I mean, what am I supposed to do? So it's one of these things where I kind of slowly make my way that way and get heading up there. And this is where the overprotective part comes in. I get there to this house, and yeah, they're right. There was no shade tree for the little darlings to be in. And this 8 to 10 inches of water that they were swimming in, the youngest kid was 6. The other one was 8. Dad was setting, he had a lawn chair set up, was sitting just inside the house in the air conditioning, watching his kids swim.
From the living room?
Yeah.
That's a dad move.
Yeah, I'm like...
That's a smart man, is what that is.
I get there and I walk up and I say hi to the kids and everything. I look over and Dad's sitting there and I'm looking. He's got something to drink in his hand. And I go over there and he has a Diet Dr. Pepper.
I don't even care what he has.
Yeah.
Like, he could have a fifth of whiskey in his hand.
And his wife was in the house too.
Yep. Okay.
So,
that's the Karen across the street.
Exactly.
That needs to mind her own damn business and... go pick weeds or something from her flower garden.
That's why I would love to post this somewhere and get it out to people. It's like, before you call the cops, you should ask yourself these questions. And it's like, one, is or what is it? One is, have I tried to solve it myself? Is it hurting anyone?
Yep.
Am I minding my own business? And then I can't remember what the other one is, but it's basically for like kindergartners a guideline before going to a teacher and tattling or whatever. But if people that called this stuff in would actually go by those guidelines, the call volume would drop tremendously.
Well, the call volume would have dropped tremendously on the very first one. Can I solve it myself?
Exactly.
If she was to go over there and say, "Hey, you are watching your kid," then you go back to your house and mind your damn business.
Yeah, either that or get in the car and drive back by and look and there's Dad sitting right there or whatever, But the kid, it's not like it was a
but even if you're
18-month-old kid and a 2-year-old and Dad was passed out high inside the house or something.
Kids. If the kid is wearing diapers, maybe they need more superficial,
more adult supervision. Yeah, and they were inside of a fenced yard, and it's like.
But if it's a 8-year-old and a
6-year-old,
6-year-old, yeah, we used to ride our bicycles around town
by ourselves all day long.
It's so dumb these days.
And that's what our resources get tied up with.
And you remember we had radios on our head. We had headsets.
I remember those
at one point that were set on Vox. So anytime our the microphone picked up our voice, we could talk to each other.
Yep, I remember the days.
And we would go over on Ed Drive and pick up our friend.
Yeah, I remember.
I'm not saying specifics, and then go off. And we'd just enjoy the day. Go and hit ramps off of curbs, all kinds of things.
Yeah. But, yeah, we, wasted our resources for the day to drive up there, and, it was... doing the cool dad thing. I thought he was a freaking genius sitting in there looking out the window.
Oh, that's brilliant.
The storm door there.
Yeah, I won his autograph.
Well, let's go get it then.
No, that's just a very Karen type of move on that. But and so what is she doing? Like, she just sitting at home?
No, she was driving down the road.
Driving down the road.
She drove by and saw those kids outside. Apparently, they think it's illegal for kids to play outside by themselves nowadays. We get a lot of phone calls about kids playing outside by themselves.
Did you tell that 94% of wrecks are made by people not focusing on the road?
No, I didn't say that, but
okay.
It's one of them things where you're like,
it's either 94 or 96% of wrecks are made by people not focusing on the road. But yeah, that's crazy. I've had several calls like that too. Like, I've never been a rural police officer like yourself that has done outside of a city domain. I've worked with two different agencies that are police, and one is a very, very small town, and we've had a tornado there before. And you talk about a town that just full on panic during something like that, and I can just see how all that can be a confusion for that anyways. But yeah, there was a lady actually who I can't even remember her name, so it doesn't even matter that whatever name I say. Let's just say her name was Betty, which I know is not even close.
Well, we can just leave them as Karens.
Karens, yeah, Karens is a great one. She was notably around town to have a specific disease, and you didn't want her to spit on you or anything like that. So I saw her on the very far north of town, and I had to, tornado sirens started going off. We're having all kinds of issues in town with communication, and power. So I saw her, picked her up, took her all the way to the south side of town where she lived, to the community shelter. And man, that town I was at, of course I can't say the name, but it was just, they had a lot of issues with that, and I almost got trapped in that town for about 18 hours because we had so much rain at that time. The river had been flooded so bad that the bridge had been impassable. Yeah, and couldn't get out of there. It was a bad deal. But sounds like you've had more interesting and funny stories than I've had.
I don't know about funny, but they're interesting sometimes.
I mean, I've had several, but a more military side than anything.
You remember the first episode I talked about with the guy in the enlarged testicle?
How can I forget?
This guy has a brother.
Please tell me his name is Hugh.
Hugh.
Yeah, like huge Hugh.
No, but these two, they're burnt out. They've been on. I mean, it's meth induced burnout. I mean, it's been forever,
self-induced
since they've, Anyway, he calls up one time and I call him and he's like, I don't know how to explain it. There's just something out here that you need to come look at. I was like, okay, I'll head that way. And when you get out there, he lives in one trailer that faces north.
Okay.
His brother lives in a trailer that's north of his and to the east, but faces west. So their trailer's set in an L. Okay? Where they meet and make that L, there's another trailer back behind that. And it's smaller. It's like a bumper pull trailer, like a camper.
Oh, your travel trailer.
Yeah, so I get there and I see him and I was like, hey, what's going on, and he's blah, blah, blah. And he goes, you need to come look at something. He goes, my brother has something back here. I have no idea what it is. And, I hear people out here all the time. And he goes, I need you to just come look at this. It's like, okay. So I'm walking back there with him and he's kind of mumbling all this. And all I'm thinking is, yeah, he's burnt out and he just flapping his gums.
You just want to know what he's on.
Yeah, so we go back there, and he walks up, and the door to this camper is open, and he just walks by the front door, and he points inside. And I walk up, and as I glance in, the first thing I can see is a foot, and it's laying there. And I think to myself, I go, good Lord, these two guys killed somebody. And it looks just like a friggin' foot. I'm like, oh, crap, they killed someone, and they're laying out back here. So I keep going, and I'm looking. Well, right above that foot, you see a steel rod come out just a little ways where the ankle would be, and then the calf starts, the leg. And I'm like,
what, they making cyborgs?
I was like, what in the hell is this? So I walk over.
Crackheads can do a lot of things.
And there's a blanket that's on top of this, and you can see hair at the top. I go over and lift this thing up. I have never seen a sex doll before.
Did the carpet match?
But
match
this
the drapes?
thing it was realistic, and I mean, I was scared to death to touch it. I mean, I had gloves on and everything, but I nudged it with my foot, and the thing, woman or whatever's chest, her breasts, it moved, and they moved naturally, just like that. And I look over at the guy, and he goes, what is that? He goes, he said, it's been here for however long and all this. He's like, what is that? And I'm trying to stay somewhat professional, and I'm trying to keep from laughing. So I looked at him, and I go, your brother has relations with this.
Oh,
and he just kind of looks at me, and he's like, huh? And then finally I just broke it down for him, was blunt. And I go, your brother has sex with this. And he's like, no, he doesn't. Get that out of here. I do not want that in my house. And he just starts to wig out. Well, about that time we hear something. Here comes his brother around the corner.
Don't touch Charlene.
And he's pointing. He goes, get that out of here. I want that gone right now. And I'm like, whoa, guys, you're not going to argue and all this stuff about it. He then tells him, he goes, no. He goes, I paid $100 for that.
That is a good price.
And
for
I
that
sat
good
there and
one.
I'm leaning back. I don't know how much them things
No,
are.
they're expensive.
So I'm like, okay, what the hell are we getting into here? And he goes, I paid $100 for that. And he goes, and this is what I'm going to do. He goes, when I have had my fun with it and I'm tired of doing it, he goes, I'm going to clean it up real good, and I bet I could get $500 for it. And this thing, it looked like it'd been laying there for a while. The skin was, it was like a white person, but it had like dirt on it and stuff where it had been laying in there for a while. There's no how many times that his brothers had relations with this thing. And then, of course, I got to take pictures of it, and I end up going back, showing all my buddies that I work with and all that stuff. But,
I don't know if it looked anything like that.
no, it didn't look like that, but those look real. That's how it looked. Her chest, it looked that real.
That one that's $575.
Oh, really? I thought they'd be more expensive than that.
That one's it's on sale. It's on sale.
Oh, is that a Wish one?
That's might
Is that
be
one
might
that
be.
you get and it's
Like,
gonna
it comes
have,
back
like-
and the head is probably like upside down or something.
Yeah,
something
and
like
it's got
that.
hair that's just clumps that are sticking out.
It
Or
probably
something.
looks like more like a man.
And he wouldn't tell me where he got it from. He just said he paid $500 or $100 for it. But anyway, we're getting towards the end of the episode. I'm glad we informed you guys of how much sex dolls are in case you'd like to go out and buy one day.
About $1,200 for a good one.
Yeah, I have no idea. I would not want something like. Well, I don't know. It would never gripe at you.
Later in life, as a grown man, you never know.
Anyway.
Someone who's a welder has his own travel trailer and out on the pipeline or something like that.
All right. This episode's going where I totally don't want it to. You guys look us up. The Facebook page is up by now. It's probably going whatever, but look us up on Facebook if you got any questions. We'll certainly give some answers. Or if you want to be on the episode, you give us a shout and we'll put you on. And then make sure you give us a like or a review on whatever you listen to your podcasts at, Apple, Spotify, or wherever. If you go to anchor.fm and you find us on there, you can send questions in that way. But anyway, we're getting off here. You guys have a good one.